Hey gorgeous, welcome back to the makeup aisle. Today's video is going to be my monthly makeup drawer for the month of July. July is always a really good month for me because it's my birthday month. Ha, applause. Today's July 1st, my birthday is tomorrow. I'm not going to say how old I will be because a lady never tells. But anyway, so it's always a really good month for me. Everyone's always celebrating. I have probably about 5 or 6 friends who also have birthdays in July. So it's literally a month-long celebration for me, going to different dinners and going out dancing or going to the movies or just hanging out, barbecuing, talking, things like that. So again, it's just always a great month for me and I absolutely love it. So this month what I am going to do, because I don't believe I've done a makeup drawer probably for the last 2 months. What I have been realizing over those past 2 months, between allergies and illness, vacation, just time constraints, things like that, I've noticed that my everyday makeup drawer, which is upstairs in my bedroom, has been an absolute disaster. I am also not reaching for all of the products that I take out. I just keep reaching for those like choice few, which is great because then you know you have your favorites. But the point of doing the monthly makeup drawer is to actually go through your collection, make sure you're rotating out the makeup so things are just not sitting there, you know, basically going to waste. And I'm finding that that's exactly what's happening. So even if I pull out a bunch of products for the month, I'm not using all of them. So I'm going to take a different approach this month, see how this works for me, and if I feel that it works for me, I will continue doing it this way. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break up the month into the amount of weeks. So I'm going to create 4 boxes every month per week. So that week I'm only going to use whatever is in that box and nothing else so that I can get use out of it. For the most part, what I did was I pulled 4 of everything. So 4 primers, 4 foundations, 4 concealers, correctors, things like that. And then each box has 1 of each thing. So I'm going to go through each box, and what I think I'm going to do just to kind of keep it a little fun is I'm just going to close the boxes when I take them upstairs. I'm going to grab a box without knowing what's in it, and that's what I'm going to use for the week. And then what I want to do at the end of every week, probably Friday night or Saturday early, is film a very short video. You're talking maybe 5 to 8 minutes, maybe a little longer, to just talk about the products that I used that week, what I liked, what I didn't like, because I do have a lot of new products that I've been purchasing over the last few months, but I just haven't really gotten a chance to try them out. So with that, you'll know what I liked that week, you know, if something really didn't work or something was just like the standout favorite for me. And that's going to also help me to do my monthly favorites at the end or beginning of the next month. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk about the first box I have here. I decided to use glossy boxes because I have so damn many and they just fit everything perfectly. So for the first box, for foundation primer, I picked the Pores No More from Dr. Brandt. I have used this before. It's one of my favorite primers. I love the way it feels on the skin. It just really kind of takes everything and evens it out. Then for foundation, I have chosen the Revlon Youth FX, which is a fill and blur foundation. This is also a newer foundation. I purchased this in May, I think it was, when I was in Florida, because I hadn't seen it yet in the store, so I knew it was a new product. I used it once, but because I was starting to get a little darker, it was starting to look a little ashy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a darker foundation to darken this up, but I did like the way it felt on the skin. For powder this month, for that week, I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Face in True Bronze, and that's what it looks like. I have used this before and have talked about this before. This is one of my favorite powders, hands down, to set my foundation. It feels so nice on the skin, it blends out really nicely, and the color's just gorgeous. Before it was too dark, but now because I am darker and it's in the middle of the summer, it is absolutely perfect. For concealer, I am going to be using the NARS, let's see, what is this called? Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is a newer product. I know people have been talking about it for months, so I'm kind of late to the bandwagon, but I purchased this and received this probably about a week or so ago, and I know that it looks dark, but what I've actually been trying to do is use concealers that are my own skin tone. I'm going to try to stay away from concealers that are way too light. If I want to highlight, what I do is I use a banana powder over the concealer, and it tends to brighten up that area. But I'm noticing that in pictures or sometimes when I'm filming, it just looks really crazy with everything so light under the eyes, to the point that it looks you know, you can tell there's a difference in the skin. So I have used this several times. Love the coverage. I am using it today. And like I said, if I want to brighten, I just use the banana powder. But this, because it's my own shade, just makes everything look so even and beautiful. And for setting powder under the eyes that week, I'm going to be using the Ulta Pressed Setting Powder, and this is the banana shade. I have used this several times and I do like it, so I wanted to pull it back out because I have not been using it in a couple of months. So very nice. It's finely milled, goes on nicely, doesn't leave like a white cast. It doesn't, you know, it sets the concealer really nicely. It doesn't like budge as the day goes on, so I really do like this. For bronzer that week, I am going to be using Hoola's Benefit. I don't use this as much as I should or as much as I want to. I think, of course, as your collection continues to grow, things kind of get pushed to the back as newer things come out because you want to try the new stuff, so this gets pushed to the back. But Hoola from Benefit, if you don't know, is one of their most popular items, and I want to say it might be their best seller. This overall is a really nice bronzer for the skin. For me, it is a little light, but I find that when I put it on, you know, just in those areas where I want to bronze, I do get a nice little glow. It's not something that's so noticeable that those areas of my skin are going to look darker, but it just does a little something. And then during the winter when I am lighter, this definitely looks so much better because of the fact that I'm not as tan in the winter months. For blush, I decided to pull out the Maybelline Master Blush Color and Highlight Kit. I have talked about this before. One of my favorite blush palettes, hands down, high-end or drugstore. It is absolutely phenomenal. The lasting power on these blushes is just beautiful. The highlight, it like blew my socks off. I didn't really know what to expect, but the highlight is absolutely perfect. It blends really nicely, goes on the cheeks, just gorgeous. I just love this palette, and I kind of knew I was gonna like it. It's one of those things where you get it and you just know you're gonna love it, and I absolutely do, but I haven't used it in a few months, so I wanted to pull it back out. In this box for corrector, I chose my Mehron Celebrate Pro Correct It, and I purchased this at IMATS when I went in April. I have used the orange shade and it is absolutely phenomenal. It is so creamy, goes under the eyes so well, blends out nicely. It's not cakey or heavy, and you can build it up without it doing that. I know sometimes, whether it's powder products or cream products, if you build it up on the face, sometimes it looks really, really cakey, but this is not the case with this corrector. And like I said, I do have to use the other ones, but the orange is just absolutely great. I love it. For lipstick, I actually put two in here. I put my Gerard Cosmetics Hydra Matte liquid lipstick in Ecstasy, and I haven't used this in quite some time, so I am excited to use it again. And then I pulled out my MAC Viva Glam 6, and that is what it looks like right there. So a really nice everyday nude. I have used this in the past and absolutely adore it. And for eyes that week, I pulled out my Lorac, I want to say this is the California Dreaming palette, and this is what it looks like. I maybe have used this once or twice, but this is one of those things where I wanted to pull it out because I do want to use it more. I haven't gotten enough use out of it, and it got really nice reviews from a lot of different YouTubers. So what I'm doing is every week I am going to try my very, very best to use eyeshadows at least 4 out of the 5 work days or 3 out of the 5 work days. The thing is that I like to sleep, and so I can't get up so early to put like an eye look together. But what I think I'm going to do, especially because I do want to be able to do that, is try to start working in like 5 or 6 minute looks where, you know, if I'm getting ready, like for today, obviously this took me a while because I really concentrated on everything. It's a Saturday, I can do that. But during the work day, you know, the work week, in the morning, I don't want to get up half an hour before I have to go to work just because I want to put together an eye look. So I think what I'm going to start doing is working on eye looks that are quick, easy, that I already pick, you know, 3 or 4 colors, put them together, and boom, I'm done and out the door. And last but not least, for highlighter, I chose the Wet n Wild Boozy Brunch highlighter. I couldn't find this for the longest time and was dying to find it. It is one of the prettiest gold highlights that you will ever find. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you could see that, but it is beautiful, and it goes on the skin like literally like liquid gold. It's just so gorgeous. So the second box I have here, I'm just gonna kind of go in and start pulling stuff out. The first thing I have here is a MAC Shadow Quad. It's point and shoot. It's basically a kind of like a contour palette where you have 4 shades, all cool tone, to do a really nice black smoky eye. I put this in this specific box because the eyeshadow palette that I chose has no black, and if I wanted to kind of deepen up the look on, like, let's say the outer corner, or even as a transition, I can do that with, you know, in this week. So the primer that I chose is a Too Faced Primed and Poreless, one of my favorites, one that I just haven't used in a while. So like I said, some of these products are new, some of these are tried and true, some that I already love, that I've used before, and I really do like this primer. For setting powder, I chose the e.l.f. finishing powder, which this is the newer one. This is in medium dark, and that's what it looks like. Quickly became one of my favorite setting powders for my liquid foundation. I've used this only a handful of times, but it has not let me down any of the times I have used it. It goes on beautifully, very finely milled, very soft. It really keeps those oils at bay during the day, and I just love how you get an airbrushed finish when you use this powder. And I'm not going to hold it up to the camera because the packaging is mirrored, so I will absolutely blind you. So the blush that I'm going to be using in this box is the Maybelline Fit Me blush, and these are the new ones that they have out. They probably have about 10 or 12 shades, which are absolutely gorgeous. This one is in the shade Berry. I do want to use it more to make a more educated opinion as to whether or not I like this blush. For contour slash bronzer, I am going to be using the Pro Contour palette from Absolute New York. And this looks like the, I want to say the Wet n Wild and also the Marc Jacobs one. This is one that I got when I was at IMATS in April, and I have used this many times and I do love it. I've even used the banana powder side because it is yellow enough, so I have used it under my eyes to set my concealer. It's worked great, you know, both sides. The contour is very nice. I've also used this to bronze because it's a little darker, so it looks really good on my skin tone. For corrector, I have a new one, and this is the Maybelline Master Camo crayon. Let's see, so I just picked this up, I want to say 2 days ago, and I don't know if you can tell from there, but this is like a felt, not a felt, but like, I don't know, like a little puff or something like that. It's like, oh gosh, where is it? It's like the Maybelline Age Rewind, so it's got that little puff up top. But this one is really, really streamlined. I don't know if you're picking that up from there. So it's very interesting, first of all, the shape that it is. They had a lot of nice shades of this corrector. They had a really, really dark one, and usually I use orange under my eyes because I do have dark circles, but the one they had was like literally brick red, and I said, you know what, let me try this because this is closer to what I use, even though it's just a bit lighter. So I am going to try this out, but I have high hopes for this because I do really, really want to like it. I love correctors, so whenever I find a really good one, I love to make sure that I have it, and this was just a few bucks because it's drugstore. For concealer, I'm also using a new one on the market, and this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. I know a couple of people have talked about it that I've seen on YouTube, but I did pick this up at Ulta, actually I think yesterday. It was buy 2 get 1 free, so I also got 2 of their new Infallible shadows. I didn't pull any of them for this month, but I did get this for free, so I'm excited to try this. I did hear it wasn't completely full coverage, but I don't necessarily need to wear a full coverage concealer daily to work, as long as it does enough where, you know, I'm not seeing like the sallowness that I get because of the dark circles. I'm absolutely fine with that. And I like the fact, even though that I like a matte finish, I always set my concealer. So even though it's Pro Glow, I'm hoping what that means is that underneath the eyes will look healthy and glowy and not like dry or cracked or anything. For highlighter, I have a lot of Maybelline Master stuff. This is the Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter. This is one shade. I have had this now for several weeks. I've used it a couple times. It is seriously what it says. It is metallic. I've heard some people say that it is a bit chunky, which it is, but I just use a very light hand so that it's not like just one strip of like metallic color on my cheeks. And I absolutely love the way it looked. I love how it wore. You know, you could build it up to what you want. You want to get seen from outer space, this is a really good highlighter to do that with, but you can still use a light hand and get a really nice light finish so that you're not feeling like you're just, you know, looking crazy to, let's say, the office. So for the the work week, I can still absolutely use this. I just use a lighter hand and a fluffier brush so that I can kind of diffuse the highlighter on my cheeks. For foundation, I have pulled a sample size of my Makeup Forever Ultra HD. This is in 173 or Y445. Because of my coloring right now, because I am tan, this fits me to a T. I've used this a couple of times already and just absolutely, like, I have to get a full-size bottle. That's how much I like it. So I am going to be getting one probably next week, but I wanted to pull this in because I do want to finish using this. A little goes a long way, and you get coverage like nobody's business. Everybody's talked about this. Like, this is one of those oldie but goodies. This is nothing new on the market, but if you haven't tried it, absolutely go out and get yourself a sample of it. Or if you order on Sephora, a lot of times you can get a really nice sample that's not like in a, you know, like a little pot. So it comes and it looks like just a really small version of the actual foundation. For lips, I also pulled out two different options for this week. I have the NYX Lip Lingerie, and that's in French Maid, and that's what that looks like there. I know a lot of people complain about this lingerie line of lip products. I think they may have revamped them. They came out with several new shades a couple of months ago, and because I was hearing better reviews, I went ahead and bought a couple, and I love them. Usually, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know I am not a matte lip person. So even if I put on a matte lip color, I always go over top with just a little bit of Rosebud Soft just to keep it moistened, just to keep it a little more wet looking, and so that it doesn't dry down completely. I don't mind that it doesn't dry down completely, so I do that for the purpose of keeping it moist and so that it doesn't look dry and it doesn't feel dry. But overall, I have tried this. The first week that I got it, I went ahead and tried it on its own on purpose just to see if it was really drying on the lips, and it wasn't. You know, no more than other, let's say, matte liquid lipsticks. If you're on the fence about it, go check them out, because the formula now may not be what you tried when they first came out a couple of years ago. Then I have a regular lipstick here, although it's still matte, but this is a Ulta Beauty matte lipstick, and this is in Petal. My friend gave me this. She got this as part of, like, you know, sometimes Ulta gives you like a free box worth, you know, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks or something if you buy like $24 worth. She just didn't like the shade right off the bat, so I got this brand new. I tried it. I loved it. I sent her a text. I'm like, thank you so much. It is absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't dry down completely matte, so if like you were looking at this matte lipstick line from Ulta, just know that it doesn't completely dry down matte because it's already in lipstick form. It's almost like a semi-matte, but I personally like it because it doesn't dry down. It doesn't make my lips feel dry. They still feel a little hydrated and really healthy, but again, I love that shade. It's so gorgeous. And then the last thing I have here is a new palette. This is the Yes Please palette from ColourPop, and I love it. It says Cute AF on the front. Very, very adorable. And this is what it looks like when you open it up. I know a lot of people have talked about this in relation to, oh gosh, what is it? I think the Modern Renaissance palette, and even also the Natasha Denona, the newer one, a Sunset palette or something like that, where the colors are almost the same as this palette here. This palette was 16 bucks. I did one look with it. You had to work a little bit with some of the colors to make sure that they showed up on the eyes, but I can tell you that once I got the look together, it lasted, I think I did the look at like 11 in the morning. I did makeup on 2 people that day, and they hung around for a little bit after. I did not take this off till probably 9 or 10 at night. The look was still the way I put it on my eyes that morning. Everything was in position how I put it. Nothing was muddled or looked crazy. You know, like the orange and the reds were still where I put them, still very vibrant. So I cannot wait to put together a couple more looks with this palette, but overall, very impressive. For 16 bucks, like, you cannot go wrong. This was such a good deal. I ordered 2. I have one for myself, which is this one, and I have a brand new one for my kit because ColourPop pressed shadows, I just absolutely love them, and I'm just glad that they're coming out with palettes. The third box I have here, up top, I have the Ultra Bronze from Makeup Revolution, and that's what it looks like. It's just a big old bronzer, and it's such a nice bronzer. I love it because it's absolutely matte. There's no shimmer, no glitter, no sparkle, nothing. It just goes on the skin so beautifully. I have used this before. I've had this for several months. I'm gonna see how it looks on my skin now. Like I said, that I'm a little darker, but during the months that I purchased this, I believe it was still winter time, it looked so amazing on my skin. I absolutely love this bronzer. I also pulled the CoverGirl True Blend Minerals Loose Mineral Powder, and what I use this for is to actually set my foundation. I don't use this as an actual foundation. The shade I have it in is 410 Medium, and I have used this several times. Love the way it looks on my skin. It sets the foundation really nicely, blends out really nicely. It's not cakey, or nor does it get cakey as the hours go on during the day, so I really do like this powder. The next product I have is also from CoverGirl. It's their True Blend Face Primer, and this is made for oily skin. They have 3 or 4 of these that came out several months ago. These are new products. I have used this a few times, which I do like. It is really nice where it is oil-free, but your face doesn't feel dry or anything, so I wanted to pull it back out because I haven't used it that often. For highlighter, I pulled my LA Girl Strobe Light Strobing Powder, and this is in 110 watt. You want a really, really banging highlighter, this is one. Like, I didn't know what to expect because they have like different wattage, but I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. I got the 110 wattage. When I got it home and I tried it, I'm like, okay, okay. They can see me from space. Such a good highlighter, and just a couple of bucks. I mean, it's LA Girl. I want to say it was maybe $5 or $6, if that. And you can also get, I don't know if they have them in all Ulta stores, like in store, but you can order not only on the LA Girl website, but Ulta now carries LA Girl as well. So this is definitely a highlighter that if you like to be seen, you're going to want to get that 110 watt. For concealer, I pulled the Maybelline Age Rewind. I haven't used this too much, just a few times, but I did like the coverage. I do want to try it more because I was still kind of like on the fence about it. I think more than anything because of the stupid delivery system. I think everyone that talks about this concealer says really how great the concealer is, but the damn poof up top is just crazy gross. And it is. I don't use it. Like, what I do is I'll push some in here and then I'll use a brush to put it under my eyes, but I don't actually put this under my eyes. It's too gross. But again, I want to use it more to really make a more educated opinion as to whether or not I really do like this concealer. I also pulled a liquid liner, not a liquid liner, a gel liner, and this is the one from ColourPop in Swerve. So this is just their regular black. I tend to use, and I have it right here, their pencil in the same shade. It's Swerve and it's black, and it's basically a gel, one of those retractable pencils, and I do really like this a lot. This is what I usually use to line my eyes when I'm not using a gel liner. But I do want to use this, A, because I bought it, and B, because I've used it a couple of times and really don't know how I feel about it. So I kind of want to get to the point of using it just straight, 5-6 straight days, and really figuring out whether or not I like this in the gel pot form and whether or not I'm going to purchase it again, because it's like $6 or $7, so you can't go wrong. If it works, it's a great economical liner. So I'm excited for the blush for this box. I pulled my Butter Blush from Physicians Formula, and one of the biggest reasons why I'm excited is because they made darker colors. When they first came out with the Butter Blushes, I'm like, who is that going to show up on? Because it would literally do nothing on my skin tone. So that, I was like, caused me a little angst. And but then they came out, I want to say, with 2 or 3 new shades that are darker. There's actually a darker one than this. I'm still on the hunt for that son of a bitch, but I may have to order it online. I'm not sure. But this looks really nice on my skin, just a nice healthy flush, and it actually shows up. So for me, I was like so excited. This one is called Vintage Rouge, and of course it smells like the Butter Bronzer. So if you like that, it's like the beach or coconut. It smells so good. Although Physicians Formula, I still have my eye on you. Butter Bronzer, you gotta darken it up. I bought that, the darkest one they had, even in the winter months when I'm super, super light. It did nothing, like did not even show up on my skin. And people were raving about the bronzer, so I'm like, of course I'm gonna buy it and try it. And just, I had to give it to my sister who's much lighter than me. So I got my eye on you, Physicians Formula. I'm watching you. I pulled a Essence single eyeshadow, and this is in Keep Calm and Berry On, and I will show you why in just a moment, because I have a palette here that I pulled, and I just wanted a darker purpley mauvey color to go with this eyeshadow palette. And the one I pulled was the Deck of Scarlet edition 02. I have a video on this that I will be uploading just to kind of talk about my experience with it. I put together a look with it and just talk a little bit about what the subscription service is. I purchased this on my own. I was not comped the subscription. I was not comped this palette. It was just something that I was interested in, so I wanted to try it. So this is what the powder side looks like. You have your 3 shadows, your bronzer, your blusher. Blusher and the 3 shadows, gorgeous, absolutely to die for. Highlighter left a lot to be desired. And I am going to try it by wetting my brush with a little Fix Plus to see if that helps, but on its own, super powdery and just not a good highlighter at all. But the rest of it is really nice. And then on this side, you get 2 lip shades, which the top is like a pinky, it's called Plump, and then on the bottom, this is Brownies, which basically is a brown. Now, the lip pencil that it came with, I'm actually wearing that combination right now. Dare I say that it is like already made a monthly favorite, and I've only used it like 4 times. I like brown lip colors, but with my coloring, for some reason, they make me look absolutely dead, like dead. So this pencil is more, crayon I should say, is more like a mauvey pink, I don't know if you can see it from there, brown. So you kind of got a little bit of lightness to it. It's not like a super dark brown, but what I do is I put it on and it's super creamy. So if you don't like creamy lipsticks, this is not going to be one for you. But it's super creamy, and then what I do is I put the pink just kind of in the middle of the lips, on the bottom and the top, kind of mush them together, and it just lightens up that darkness of the crayon. So that's why I added to this Essence, because if you saw this purple, it's really, really bright. So if I wanted to darken up the outer corners, I could use this Essence one and do that. And then the last item in this box is my foundation. This is by J. Manuel. This foundation knocked my socks off. It is one of the most full coverage, flawless, photoshopped looking foundations I have ever tried. It is absolutely beautiful. And even as you wear it during the day, it doesn't really break down. It's long lasting. It just goes on so beautifully and really blends out on the skin. And I haven't used it in a while, so I said, you know what, it's time now, because it was a little darker. But now with the skin, now with my tan skin, this looks beautiful on, so I wanted to definitely pull it. And even though I have an oily T-zone, this really does the trick to kind of mattify my face. This is not something that you're going to want to use if you have dry skin, unless you're putting on like a really moisturizing primer and perhaps no powder afterwards. And then finally, the last box. The first thing I see up top here is my bronze booster, and this is from Physicians Formula. I'm going to try not to blind you because this package is pretty reflective. I have talked about this before, and I believe it made one of my monthly favorites several months ago, because I have had this for a lot of months. They also have like a highlighting one. This is such a great contouring and bronzing palette. I love this middle shade to really contour out my cheeks, and it looks light, but I like the grayness to it because I just want to kind of make a shadow. And what I do is when I do the contour and I use that gray, it really looks nice. Like, you don't really add more color, but there's just something there that makes your skin or your cheeks look really chiseled. So I wanted to pull this back out because I haven't used it in a while. For powder, I pulled my Bare Minerals Bare Skin Perfecting Veil. This is pretty dark, and I haven't used it too much just because of that fact. But again, we have summer skin going on, so this is going to be just perfect. It is such a flawless powder. It is absolutely amazing. For foundation, I chose the e.l.f. foundation that you see here. The only thing I don't like about this is that there's not really a name for what it is. The shade I have is in Buff, but it has like the frosted glass bottle. It has a nice pump. This is one of those that is so flawless. It's one of those that you buy, like $6, I'm going to try it. I put it on and I'm like, you're kidding me, right? This is e.l.f. So flawless. Your skin looks literally photoshopped. I did not have to put on any powder after I put on this foundation, and I have oily skin. I just didn't need it. It was so mattifying, so nice on the skin. Everything just looked perfect. The only thing I have back here just says oil-free SPF 15 sunscreen, but I don't really have a name for it, you know, that it has like an actual name for the foundation. But that's what it looks like. If you see it in your store and you see a shade that you think may work for you, grab the sucker. $6. It is one of the best foundations I have ever used, and we're talking about I'm putting this against my Hourglass foundation that's $56. It's that good. For primer, I chose my NYX Angel Veil. This is also oil-free. You see a pattern here with the summer. It is just really hot, and if you hear like a little whooshing sound, almost like a white noise machine, that is the fan, because it is freaking hot down here. Even in my basement where I film, where it's pretty cool, it is so muggy outside today. Nothing is helping. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to have the fan, or else I'm literally gonna melt into a blob while you're watching me. So anyway, the NYX Angel Veil is what I'm gonna be using to prime. I love the way this looks on the skin and the way it feels as well. For blush, I grabbed my Instain blush from The Balm, and this is in Houndstooth. I'm actually wearing it today. Love this. This is such a pretty mauvey, pinky, purpley type of, just like an everyday gorgeous blush. I kind of piled it on knowing because I was going to be in front of the camera, but just as an everyday flush on the cheeks, it's such a gorgeous blush. And it's matte, so I really like that. There's no sparkle or glitter or anything. I pulled my Milk Makeup Eye Pigment, and this is in Rave, which is the purple. I have used this I think once or twice, and I want to use it more. And I chose a eyeshadow palette, which I'm going to show you in a second, that has purple tones, so I really want to use this together with that. So the palette that I chose is a new one from ColourPop. It's Saucy, and it's the I Love Sahari collection. And that is what that looks like. That speaks to every part of my purple heart. And if you've seen any of my videos, whether it's a tutorial or not, a lot of times I am wearing a purple smoky eye look, even on the lower lash line today, except for this one because it's watering like hell. I used purple. I just love purple on the eyes. So I wanted to use the Milk Makeup, probably just like on the closer to the lash line, to just add a little pop of color, because that purple is very vibrant, and then use the rest of that to kind of smoke it out. So the highlighter that I chose is my Holy Grail highlighter. This is my Ride or Die, and I've spoken about this before. It is what mermaids are made of from Love Luxe Beauty, and that's what it looks like. You guys have seen this before. I'm just going to pull this up front. And just the reflex on that, it is just so gorgeous. You want to be seen from outer space, this is the one to do it. For concealer and corrector, I chose the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Orange to correct, one of my favorites. This is only like $5 or $6. It's just so creamy, doesn't budge on your eyes, doesn't crepe up or anything. I love this stuff. And then I pulled my Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Concealer because I need to finish this up. I'm not sure if it's even expired yet, but I do want to finish it, and it is one of my favorite concealers. For lips, I chose a new product that I purchased a couple of weeks ago. This is from Revlon, and I can't see what it is, but it's called HD Twilight. What is this? Oh, it's the Revlon Ultra HD Lipsticks, and this is what it is. Basically, the color matches the packaging. It's really gorgeous purple, and so because I was doing purple eyeshadows, I wanted to kind of go for a monochromatic look, and with the Balm Houndstooth blush, I think that's going to look really nice together to just do one monochromatic look. So that does it for my monthly makeup drawer. This is a different format. If you've watched any of my previous makeup drawers, you know that I usually pan the camera on the products, but I thought, you know, I haven't been in front of the camera a lot lately. I wanted to do that instead of just show you the products. I hope this format is, you know, works for you, and I hope, of course, that it works for me so that I can use the things and not let a lot of the stuff get lost in the shuffle as I continuously pull my favorites. So like I said, every week I'm going to concentrate on one box, and I'm only going to use the products in that box. At the end of that week, I will bring you a short, few-minute video just talking about that week, what worked, what didn't, how I liked the looks, how I felt things worked on my skin, and so on and so forth. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will catch up with you in a week for box week 1. And thank you again for spending a few moments of your day with me. Please subscribe before you leave. Make sure you click that little bell so you get alerted as to whenever I upload new videos. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.